Well, the Trump administration and Mike Johnson are running a pedophile protection program. That's what they've been doing. And that's the reason why they refused to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva.
For all of the months that I've been screaming about the ineffectualness, I'll just say it, of Hakeem Jeffries, the lack of aggression, the lack of opposition, the lack of fight in him, it seems maybe he's listening not just to me specifically, but others in my cohort. Maybe he's finally listening to Democratic voters who are telling him to get aggressive, especially related to the protection of children who have been victimized systematically by billionaires and powerful men like Donald Trump, like Jeffrey Epstein, like Alan Dershowitz, allegedly, all of this allegedly. It's all alleged crimes. It's all suspicion of wrongdoing, right? Hakeem Jeffries finally yesterday called what they're doing, this cover-up, a pedophile protection program. Not only that, Khanna is in the mix, and he's asking the right questions. He usually does, but in this case, he's really asking the right questions. Why are they covering up here? I got those two clips, and then we're going to read from the New York Times and talk about where the money trail is, and the fact that nearly $1 billion, maybe more than $1 billion in transfers were reported from JPMorgan Chase, from Chase Bank, of these suspicious money transfers that are now being ignored by the Trump administration, all involving Jeffrey Epstein and powerful billionaire men and powerful influential men, the aforementioned lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein included. So first, let's start with Hakeem Jeffries. Now that I've given the rundown, Hakeem Jeffries calling it what it is, finally being aggressive and calling it like it is, facing reality down as he should have been doing months ago.
Jeffries, I guess on the Epstein files, which still have not been released, on a personal note, how does it feel to work with so many grown adults who have been obstructing the release of these Epstein files and, in effect, protecting pedophiles?
Well, the Trump administration and Mike Johnson are running a pedophile protection program. That's what they've been doing. And that's the reason why they refused to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. For weeks now. She was elected in late September decisively. And Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva still hasn't been sworn in because she'll become the 218th vote on an up or down piece of legislation that will require the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. And yet week after week after week have gone by, and Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva is unable to serve 800,000 plus people in the state of Arizona, all because of the pedophile protection program being run by Mike Johnson and House Republicans at the direction of their boss, Donald J. Trump.
It is a pedophile protection program run by Mike Johnson and the House Republicans at the behest of their boss, Donald Trump. This is the party that presumes to be, claims to be, the party of family values, the party that wants to protect children from drag queens reading them stories. But when there's credible evidence of a cover-up related to the systematic raping of children, the child sex trafficking, it's crickets from the peanut gallery. It's quiet. Ooh, we can't do anything. We can't say anything. Oh, I haven't heard that. What? I'm just totally unaware. What's happening? What is this? They're liars. They're not family values. They're not real Christians. They're protecting a credibly accused rapist of children. They're certainly protecting the legacy of someone convicted of it in Jeffrey Epstein. Khanna asking the correct questions in this clip.
Why is the Trump administration protecting rich and powerful men who were providing millions of dollars to Jeffrey Epstein? First of all, what were they paying him for? This is someone who was running a sex abuse operation where there are over 1,000 victims. And why is it now that the Trump administration is hiding all of these files? Why don't they just release the files? So my concern is that a government has been protecting people who protected Epstein.
That seems to be the case, does it not? Two good questions. Why are they covering this up? And why were they paying Jeffrey Epstein? It's a saying that you've heard many, many times, follow the money. When you find out where the money was going or where the issue of the money, when you settle that, you've settled the mystery. And the New York Times is now reporting they name names. Stick around for that. If you're still here, thank you. But they name names in this, not of like dead to rights guilty, but suspicious enough that the New York Times felt comfortable publishing the names and not just keeping it anonymous. Here's the headline. JPMorgan alerted U.S. to Epstein transfers involving Wall Street figures. After Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 death, the bank reported more than $1 billion in potentially suspicious transactions. Weeks after Jeffrey Epstein died in federal custody in 2019, awaiting prosecution on sex trafficking charges, JPMorgan Chase filed a report alerting the United States government to tens of millions of dollars of potentially suspicious transactions involving him and prominent Wall Street and business figures. The so-called suspicious activity report that JPMorgan filed identified transactions with Leon Black, the co-founder of private equity firm Apollo Global Management, Glenn Dubin, a well-known hedge fund manager, the lawyer Alan Dershowitz, and trusts controlled by Leslie Wexner, the retail tycoon. The nature of the transactions, as well as Mr. Epstein's role in them, is unclear, says the uber careful New York Times. So, remind me why this didn't go Oh, I know why it didn't go anywhere. Who was president in 2019? Let me fake like I have a Rolodex here with a calendar. It's my Constitution. It appears it was Donald Trump. It appears Donald Trump was president of the United States in 2019 when this alert from JPMorgan Chase would have been delivered to the federal government. Strange how it was buried. Strange how it was ignored. And it gets worse. The role of JPMorgan in financing Mr. Epstein's sex trafficking operation has drawn new scrutiny after an article in the Times detailed how the bank had repeatedly disregarded red flags about his activities, including frequent large cash withdrawals and other suspicious transactions. Let me tell you, when a bank is alerted, when they're alerting the federal government about large cash withdrawals, they're not talking about $10,000 at a time when the guy is a billionaire. It's large cash transactions. They don't give the exact number here, but we're not talking about piddly tens of thousands of dollars. We're talking about big time money here that can't be traced once it's been removed. Some lawmakers in Congress have called for hearings into JP Morgan's role, including demands that Jamie Dimon, the bank's chief executive, answer written questions or testify before a Senate panel. The financial records made public on Thursday were produced by JPMorgan during litigation in 2023 that was brought on behalf of victims of Mr. Epstein and by the U.S. Virgin Islands, where he maintained a private island residence that served as a base for most of his financial advisory businesses. In 2023, JPMorgan agreed to pay $75 million to the Virgin Islands government to settle the litigation. The bank also paid $290 million to settle the victims' lawsuit. And then finally, JPMorgan said it regretted its involvement with Mr. Epstein, but was not aware of his sexual abuse. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's likely true. I don't know. But I know who does know about this. I know who is up to his neck in guilt relative to knowing about this. And the reason I know that is because that's why they're keeping the Epstein files private. That's why they won't release them. That's why they're refusing to swear in a newly elected representative in Adelita Grijalva. They're not swearing her in, making her a duly, an actual member of the House of Representatives, because she's going to vote to release the files. Files that Donald Trump says there's nothing in, but is fighting tooth and nail to have them stay private. Yeah, it all makes a whole bunch of sense. Hakeem Jeffries is 100% correct. This is a pedophile protection program that is run by Mike Johnson, House Republicans, and the President of the United States, who has been credibly accused of these crimes. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video. Please make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. It is free to do so. Just click the subscribe button. Like and follow the Facebook page, Dollemore Daily. I would appreciate it very much. Comment below. And you can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.